Hey everybody, Manny Telebear here. We're now on day 82 of the seven-figure climb, and what I'm going to talk to you about for the next few minutes in this video is whether you should have partners or not. And we're going to give you some, I'm going to give you some insights, the kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what all of that looks like. And just give you my personal opinions on it and where I'm coming from, and just kind of give you some insights. And so, I'm sure there are partnerships that work really, really well and they last forever and the two people get along and there's really no issues. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, worked together forever and never really had an argument. And I think that you could, there are probably situations where you find that. But for me, I think it's very, very difficult to find someone you're going to agree with everything on and then and what all of that's going to look like. And this is the other thing too. There are different types of partners. What you really don't want to, if you're going to have a partner, is to find someone exactly like you. You want to have someone who has the same vision but a completely different set of skill sets, because you have a certain set of skill sets, this person has a certain set of skill sets, and then you kind of merge the two and you can go much faster that way. And I think there's a lot of value in that. The problem is when they go bad, they usually go really bad, and the breakups are usually ugly. And then the question is, what does that look like? And who owns what when, when the partnership ends up dissolving or whatever that looks like. And that's where things can get really, really murky. And so, in my opinion, I think that there's, my thoughts have changed a lot on this. There's a lot of value to doing it that way. You can go much further, much faster with a partner, and you're certainly sharing the revenue, but you're also sharing the headache. And also, two people often encourage each other. So a lot of people will do things they will do things that they would never do without a partner because they're scared. And so a lot of times when you bring that partner element into the relationship, into the business, what happens is all these things that you were scared to do, you're excited about doing them because now you're not doing them alone. What most people are fearful of is doing it alone or going it alone and doing these things. And then the other thing, like I said, is if you bring someone in who has different skill sets than you, a lot of times those things that you're fearful of, they are not fearful of. And you can go, like I said, much further, much faster. But like I said, what you got to determine before you go into the thing is, if it gets dissolved, how does it get dissolved? Who owns what assets? Who buys who out? That can all be pre-decided. That can all be pre-decided. Who gets the right to buy who out first? And that can be decided on a coin flip. And so you can basically flip a coin, and if you win, you get the option to buy your partner out. And if you lose, they get the option to buy you out. But again, even at that point, you've still got to decide on some kind of preset parameters on what the value of everything is. And, because the person's got to be buying you out at fair market value. And so you might have to have a third party intermediary or an accountant or an attorney who can basically look at all the assets, make a decision on what the assets are worth, and then everyone has to agree on that. The problem is usually one person doesn't have the money to buy the other person out because they're not making all of the money from the business. They're only making half of it. And so, like I said, this can all get very, very murky. And so a lot of times it's a division of assets, or it's just a sale. So you all choose to sell the business to a third party. That third party comes in and buys all of the assets from the business, and then the two of you get all of that money split evenly. And another thing too, why are you getting the partner to begin with? Like taking on long-term financial partners is, I think it's a bad idea. You can take on investment to get you to a certain level, but there should be a buyout opportunity, or at the very least, they're getting a flat ROI on their investment, and they're not long term. So they don't basically own a piece of the ongoing concern, and you want to think about that. So like when I talk about getting an investor, most of my talk about getting investors is getting investors to help you scale to the million or 2 million or whatever that numbers that you want to hit, and they get a fair ROI on their investment, but they don't get to continue to carry along with you, and so their investment is up to that point. And so if I'm gonna bring on an investor partner to help me get to a million. They're out once I hit the million, but they're getting a certain amount of revenue from that. So I just thought I'd give you some insights on that. And like I said, anything that you want can be negotiated, and then it just needs to be put in writing, and you just need to have a clear understanding of what each person's role is going in before you move forward. But we're going to end out, and I'll see you all on the next video. And thanks a lot.